I got these table leg extenders sent to me to make a video about. The nice thing about these table leg extenders is they'll take a folding table like this and they'll raise it up. So you can see here, I got this table raised up to counter height right here, so it's right at my waist. So I can work on this project right here without bending down over the table here. So if you're looking for a way to raise your table legs up a few inches, these table legs are pretty nice. All right, let me go ahead and show you everything that comes in the box and how I got these things all set up here. Here's everything that comes in the box. You get 4 of the legs here. This is the gold version. You can also get them in black or in white. And then you get these screws right here with knobs on them. They got a nice knob on the end there to hold it in place. And then it's got some pins. And then there's little pins in the pins to hold the pins in place there. And that's where you rest the feet. So you'd put your table legs in here. And then you'd put the pin, like if you wanted to do the top one, you put the pin in there. You can see here's the instructions here on how to do it. We'll take these out to the garage here and I'll set up a table and show you what it looks like. Here's some different folding tables over here. This is the one I want to use right here. We'll see if it fits on here. So it looks like it'll fit on there. Can make my table a little bit taller here. So I'll just kind of have to figure out where I want to put the pin there. Here's another one over here too. So I could put it on here as well to make this table a little taller. This other table, it won't work though because it's got the side feet there. So it's got to be one like this here that has straight legs, or at the very least one that has a little bit of length here to put that on there. You see that would go to, looks like I could comfortably go to this pin right here, maybe that pin. Yeah, I could go to that pin there if I keep it straight. So we'll go ahead and give it a try and see how it works. So you can see how tall the table is here without the extender. Comes to right about here. I'd like it to come up a little bit higher. So we'll see if we can put this on here and get it to come up a little bit higher here. It'd be nice, then that way it'd be a little bit easier for me to work at this table here. All right, I'm going to go ahead and flip the table upside down and put these legs on it. All right, like I said, I'm going to try to go to the middle right here. So I'll put the pin in there. Actually, I'd like to go as high as I can, so I'm going to put the pin up here at the top. So I got that there, and then stick the little pin in here. Comes with a little clip here. Then there's a little hole in the pin. And then that holds the pin in place here. So there it is. The pin stops it from going any further. And then I can screw this in here. We'll give that a try there. Do the same thing on the other side here. And then you may want to reverse the pins here just so that the outside of the leg is smooth so that you don't scratch your leg or anything on here. But that could just depends on how you want to set it up there. Then I think that'll be a little bit nicer on the outside without the pin there. So you can definitely see the difference there, how much higher up that is. I'll go ahead and put the other table legs on there. Okay, I got those table legs on there, and then I got the table legs on the bottom. I'm going to go ahead and lift up the table and we'll see how tall it is. Oh, wow. Look at that. That's nice. Look how tall that is. You can see now how tall this is with those table legs there. It came all the way up to my waist here, so this will be perfect. I can just stand here and get some work done with this nice tall table here, and it feels pretty stable. It just feels as stable as it was for a folding table. So yeah, this is pretty nice. I used the highest setting here, and so you can see where that pin is. I raised it up about 6, looks like 6 1/4 inches there. That's how much I raised this table up. So that's quite a bit because the pin is where the foot is, where the original foot is for the table leg there. And so yeah, you got all these different pins here. Looks like one's in there at about 2 1/4, and then another one there at about 4 1/4, and then that one there is at 6 1/4 there that I got. So you can see how it's raised them all up there, how nice they look. Comes with some extra hardware. There's one of these extra screws right there to hold everything in place. And then there's some extra pins as well. In case you lose any of your little pins or your screw there, you got some extras. Here's the instructions. It says the official measurements were 2 inches for the bottom one there, 4 inches for that middle one, and then 6 inches for the top there. So those are the official measurements. So yeah, these table leg extenders are a great way to turn your folding table into a counter height table here like this. So yeah, these things are pretty nice.